Hello everyone. In case you don't know, recently Chuck Norris passed away. He's one of the most iconic human beings to walk the face of the earth in terms of entertainment, and always give a tough guy persona, which I appreciate watching when I was younger. Even my friends, who from non-English speaking countries like France and Italy, all know who Chuck Norris is. And as a result, I'd like to give a tribute to him in this post and talk about 5 minutes worth of Chuck Norris facts with a Nintendo theme to it. So I hope you enjoy. If you have any other video game facts you want to share in the comments about Chuck Norris, please feel free to write down in the comments. So without further ado, let's begin. Let's start off with Mario related facts. So the first one is very easy. The princess is always at Chuck Norris's castle. After all, Chuck Norris doesn't need a power-up to finish Super Mario Bros. He is the power-up. And of course, Chuck Norris can win a game of Mario Party in one turn. And he also can roll a natural 20 on a 10-sided die in the same game. With that, let's move on to the next franchise, Zelda. Many people do not know this, but Chuck Norris is actually present in all the Zelda games. He is actually the Triforce. Yes, you heard that right. The Legend of Zelda series is actually about Chuck Norris. In fact, the Chuck Norris once dropped a metal toothpick after picking his teeth from the sky, and it fell to the ground, and we all know it as the Master Sword that Link uses to fight Ganon. In fact, if Chuck Norris was more prominently featured in the previous game, it would have been called not Tears of the Kingdom, but Tears of the Ganondorf. Okay, I know that one wasn't that good, so let's move on to Nintendo's lesser known franchises, but still very important. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Well, the next one is Animal Crossing, and it seems pretty straightforward. Chuck Norris can rub two fires together to create a stick. And of course, the Animal Crossing Museum contains fossils of animals that offended Chuck Norris, and therefore he no longer leaves them alive. And of course, here's another impossibility, but it's definitely possible with Chuck Norris, because Tom Nook owes Chuck Norris money, or in this case, bells. Alright, I hope I'm done with the Animal Crossing part, so I'll move on to the next franchise, which is F-Zero. Well, this simple racing game has also Chuck Norris in it. After all, Chuck Norris once won the F-Zero Grand Prix on foot. Chuck Norris can also run so fast that he can actually touch himself at the back of the head during an F-Zero race. And definitely, Chuck Norris doesn't really drive in circles. He actually rotates the earth underneath him. So I hope you like those F-Zero jokes, because now we'll move on to another franchise. We're now into the shooter genre in the form of Metroid. Well, after all, Chuck Norris became infamous because he shot a single missile and killed 50 enemies, and then the missile exploded. Also, Chuck Norris once killed a boss in Metroid by simply pointing his finger at him and shouting "bang", and the monster fell dead. Chuck Norris is also unable to execute the screw attack in Metroid because Chuck Norris doesn't screw with anyone, he just straight up attacks you. And then if he misses you, the wind behind his attack hits you, and then you slowly die of rheumatism. That's how powerful Chuck Norris is. Now the next one is my personal favorite franchise, Fire Emblem. So what Chuck Norris facts can I tell you about Fire Emblem? First off, Fire Emblem has a distinct weapon triangle in most games, in which swords beat axes, axes beat lances, lances beat swords. But Chuck Norris's feat beats all these weapons. Chuck Norris also doesn't end his turn in Fire Emblem. When he enters the battlefield, the battle ends. In fact, when Chuck Norris is on the battlefield, you don't need to use Divine Pulse or Mina's turn wheels to decide whether you need to turn back time. The time is whatever Chuck Norris tells it to be. Well, that's it guys. That's my 5 minutes worth of Chuck Norris jokes. I know not all of them are good, not all of them will hit, but I just wanted to do something to give tribute to Chuck Norris and the amazing life he had. Thanks everyone, and I kind of wish I could squeeze in more jokes, but I can't think of anything, especially for my other favorite franchise, Advance Wars. So if you can think of any, do let me know in the comments. Take care everyone, and have a great week ahead. And Chuck Norris, rest in peace, and condolences to his family.